For TY, the only thing left is winning it all. That is our next player, our Korean Terran, the champion of Katowice, one of the most renowned StarCraft 2 players that have been coming in and out, but has not been getting those big trophies. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the World Championship Series Global Finals. We are here to have a little bit of a chat with my boys, Artosis and Tasteless, as we get ready for our first winners match to determine the first player making it to the top 8.
Yeah, you know, TY, that story, it's really kind of touching, right? He was a pro gamer since he was like 12 years old. He's been playing for so long without a championship until just this year, and here he is. But you know, we don't have a signature series video for SpeCial, and his story is actually just as impressive, if you ask me. This guy has been playing as well for well over 10 years. I mean, when he was 12 or 13 years old, I personally was playing with him quite a bit, and he is such a strong young Terran player from Mexico, a country not necessarily known for having a lot of great RTS players. But here he is so much longer later at BlizzCon, right? This is the World Championships, and he's going up against someone that he kind of sees as a mentor. This is his favorite Terran player. He's friends with him. He learns from him all the time. This is like one of these classic battles of teacher and student.
This is really just a tale of two cities, right? But there is some similarities between these guys. They both started at a really, really young age. We're at the point in time in esports, because it's finally old enough now, that you can get somebody like TY whose parents encouraged him to pursue a path in professional gaming. That was fostered. He ended up joining a pro team at an incredibly young age. I've been in Korea for almost 10 years, and I remember casting his games within the first year of getting there. And he was like a little kid. Now, it's kind of strange for me because he's grown up now. At the same time, SpeCial, excuse me, SpeCial, playing at a very, very young age, but in a different part of the world. Mexico does have an esports scene, but it doesn't compare to Korea. SpeCial now moves to Korea and attempts to train as much as he possibly can there in the hopes that he can win a tournament like the WCS Global Finals, and now they're facing off against each other.
Yeah, it is indeed like a kind of crazy story.
Two very long, hard roads for both of these gentlemen, and it leads them to each other here, duking it out for the top spot in Group A, the first group that we dove into here for the round of 16. Special tactics as this has been an interesting setup. SpeCial came in, he had a very well-prepared strategy against Stats, and he handled him as TY, well, TY more than handled Snoot in their match. But this has been an interesting group to follow because Stats came in as one of the strongest Protosses in the game to this tournament.
Yeah, I mean, overall, this was the hardest group to predict because I think, you know, even though Snoot's out, he could have potentially made some upsets and done a great job here. We saw SpeCial already make a big upset. He might get out of this group, and if he does, he has the real potential to do something here. He's fantastic in all three matchups, if you ask me.
And it's such an interesting way to look at it because when we talk about the foreign players that came into this tournament, we weren't as hyped up for the Snoot. We weren't as hyped up for Kellezer. We knew these players were good, but they weren't the guys winning the trophies, you know, all over the place this year. It was all the talk was about Neeb, and Neeb knocked SpeCial out of quite a few of the WCS circuit tournaments this year. So he didn't even really get like quite that much hype because like, okay, well, you have to play against Protoss players. Obviously, TY comes in as one of the strongest players in the tournament, but he was able to overcome that. And I think this is such an amazing story for SpeCial going up against TY now.
Yeah, if he can beat TY after beating Stats, like who knows how far he can go.
Yeah, he's really the dark horse in a lot of ways.
Yeah, no,
for this,
totally.
And I think that's more so true now that we saw he won on day one here and is up against TY because he looked really good.
The first match of the whole tournament.
And this is like no disrespect to SpeCial, but I think we were more focused on players like you're saying, Neeb or even a Laser. But yeah, SpeCial, this may be his day today.
You know, if he does make it out of here, this is just such a testament to him and what he's been through in his long career that hasn't really paid off in the ways that maybe it should for his skill level. And like you said, Nate, you know, he's been eliminated by like Neeb specifically so many times. This is such a big story for all the top foreigners here. Neeb just crushed so many dreams this year for these guys. Like, we almost only talk about Neeb. If you look at the people he beat in the finals, they're like all here. SpeCial, he beat how many times over the course of the year? Here he is.
I mean, Neeb took almost all of the qualification spots for winning the tournaments. Everybody else had to get in just off of points. So there wasn't any, you know, oh, I punched my ticket with this victory. It was a battle all year long for them.
But TY, can he actually make it through? You know, I felt for a good portion of the year like he was the best player, right? There's 3 players this year that stand out for me as players that really seemed like, wow, you're on a different level, right? Well, I guess 4 really, with Stats in there, Innovation in there, TY in there, and Rogue in there. And they have all had phenomenal years, but TY, like, he almost had a year that would be like record-setting. He had a bunch of tournaments where he went up 2-0 in a best-of-5 in the round of 8 or round of 4, and then got reverse swept, where it's like, oh man, if you had that little tiny bit more push, this guy would have been #1 in the WCS career rankings. Maybe he would have won 3-4 tournaments like Innovation, but still, he did have a fantastic year and is looking to win it.
All right, it is time to see if SpeCial can continue his hot streak here. Can he make another huge landmark upset and become the first player to join the round of 8? This is the World Championship Series. Let's go to SpeCial versus TY.
G'day guys, welcome to day 3 of WCS. We are going to see our round of 8 shape up for BlizzCon, going to the arena for Anaheim next week, and my god. We're not as well known as some caster duos, but we are certainly the best looking. Maynard and Zombie Grub coming at you for this one, and speaking of good looking, this TvT looks pretty damn hot.
That is the best looking thing here right now. This TvT coming at you. SpeCial versus TY, so many storylines. Couch talking about it, setting up a lot of great hype for this match. And then, of course, at the base of it all, it's just going to be a good TvT.
Yeah, it's going to be great. The fact that this this TvT is going to look so great because of how skilled these players are is almost paling into a comparison the fact that there's a story behind this rivalry here between SpeCial and TY. And let's introduce the players. In the top left here from Splice, it is TY.
In the bottom right, as the Red Terran, he is SpeCial.
Recently picked up by the Italian esports team Prophecy Esports. Treating him good.
Hopefully.
As he should be treated. This kid is damn fine at this game.
That he is. Defeating Stats yesterday, and an upset for sure. SpeCial's always been on the radar. A lot of Koreans always talk about him and whatnot, but always need something to kind of push him forward into the spotlight, you know, past Need, basically. And beating TY after beating Stats, some of the 2 greatest players we have right now, would certainly do that.
Hell yes. And we're seeing some differentiations in the build here. Now, most of the things that happen in TvT, most of the builds end up being, 1 or 2 gases. And it looks like TY actually got the latest sensible gas here. He went for Rax first, then gas. So he's going to go for a fast expand, probably with a Reaper. Whereas SpeCial, he got the earlier gas, so he's been getting his factory a little bit earlier. But, however, hasn't gotten that second gas in 17, so it's not a super fast 1-1-1. He's going to look to expand as well.
Yeah, it looks that way. These guys said it was going to be a great TvT. The storylines are there, but just also the fact that they've been teammates. They're pretty good friends. They were talking actually behind the scenes leading up to this match right here, right now. There could be some metagaming going on. TvT has, like, in my opinion, the most set, like early, mid, and late game of all the matchups. So they can actually decide it at either 2, 5, or 20 minutes. Everything is so important, and these guys are going to know each other's weaknesses and strengths.
Yeah, they are so aware of each other's playstyles and how they like to approach this matchup. And I would say that it is honestly a contender for their best matchup as well. SpeCial has looked incredible in this matchup, and so has TY in the past.
Yeah.
Especially recently.
Right, exactly. TY has taken on a couple of great Terrans recently.
Innovation, one of them.
Yeah, exactly. Innovation being one of them. TvT is always so weird amongst the Korean Terrans, to be honest. Always facing each other on ladder. It's kind of where, Terrans really thrive. And sometimes, 1 week it'll be Innovation getting 3-0'd, and the next week it's Innovation 3-0'ing someone else. So for me, I look at these stats of these 2 guys, and yeah, TY's been winning every single time against SpeCial, but I feel like that could really change.
He has been winning series, but not maps. SpeCial does take a map from him every now and then, but unfortunately, not getting through that next stage of GSL as it happened last time they faced off. Let's see if SpeCial can rewrite history here and get himself a series at the most important tournament of the year. We see that the extra protect structure is getting dropped down here. SpeCial opting for Hellions for map control and getting the starport behind it with Tech Lab.
Yeah, not much to be said about the Scuffles of Reapers. They never really wanted to be that aggressive, just scouting and then kind of bouncing off of each other. TY went for an extra Marine, but that's really the only difference. Hellions for both parties. Perhaps getting dropped later on, but more likely just looking for an opportunity for SpeCial or TY or whoever as the units outside of the natural.
Yeah, it's interesting how similar their build orders are. It's not really a huge surprise. You don't see Hellions always in TvT, but it is starting to come into the fold now in this matchup, and Raven's going to be the choice here for SpeCial. Does TY go for the same thing? It looks like he has a right amount of minerals for it, but also could afford a Banshee if he wanted to go down that path. Raven is sort of the more solid option in the early game, because not only does it help you stay safe because it has those spellcasting abilities, it also can harass later if there is no aggression.
Yeah, it's a very good tool. I think that's really been the 2017 is like the rise of the Raven.
Yeah.
In every single matchup. We have TY going for some extra Hellions, or no, that was SpeCial going for some extra Hellions. They're going to meet each other with the exact same amount of units.
Until just now.
Just lost his Reaper.
That's right, and then an extra couple Hellions coming down here, and TY needs to get the hell out. He loses his Reaper, nearly loses a Hellion, loses one actually because of the high ground there for SpeCial. And he's going for Cyclones. This is a very aggressive opening here from SpeCial.
Yeah, he could definitely push with this, especially with a couple of auto turrets. That could be very deadly indeed. TY will have a tank, but honestly, Cyclones will take that out pretty quickly. The auto turrets.
Cyclones do not care if there's only a single tank here. They will just burn that baby down. But TY, you can see, obviously going for the tank, going for the Marines, going for Stim. He is opting for the safer option here to try and just sit back and hold on, whereas SpeCial wants to try and break him and do some damage. Tank gets siege, so the Hellions can't do too much more. One goes down, two goes down actually. Nice little shave off there of the units of from TY, and SpeCial's yeah, getting his Stim and Marines a little bit later than TY, but he's also expanding behind this. So he knows that TY is, well, at least he thinks that TY is going to be staying at home dealing with his attack.
Well, this is actually really nice for SpeCial, right? He's got these Hellions, now he brought over the Cyclones, and while maybe a bust is no longer an option, just containing TY, like dipping in and checking, like is there a medevac, like how fast are you to your extra production, which is Raven might actually do here, or go for the tank, which is a very dangerous thing to do.
Extremely aggressive, but he, does get it with the auto turrets. The Cyclones and the Hellions starting to reign supreme here in the back natural, and TY has to give it up.
Those SCVs are lining up. There's 3 Hellions waiting to barbecue them. It looks like he's going to save most of them, only losing 4, but losing control of the natural, even with the second tank popping out in the last second there, is really nice for SpeCial.
Yeah, not to mention he's getting SCV kills, denied mining time as well. Brilliant start here for the Mexican Terran, getting some units as well. The Raven forced to burn some energy to get those turrets down. The tanks are going to clean this up, but TY takes some pretty solid early game damage.
Yeah, I mean, he dealt with it as well as possible, only losing 7 SCVs, and all of those were so clumped up. It was really scary, but that was a nice read from SpeCial, basically.
Yeah.
Back to the point I was trying to make, like, if he had not done that, he's kind of containing and checking. Now by doing that, giving the units away here, even for an effective trade, don't get me wrong, TY now is also open, you know, with Stim, over 75% way done.
Yeah.
Could start that push, and SpeCial just landed his 3rd CC, well, made his 3rd CC on location. It's going to be a little tough to actually protect every single base here.
It is, yeah. And for all you Todd fans out there in Twitch chat land that are looking at the supply, I mean, it's SpeCial was a little bit behind after he did that attack, but the power of that attack was that he had that 3rd on location, so he is going to have that economy advantage. However, looks like TY has got 1 or 2 things in mind here. Try and reset that. It's going to drop with a couple medevacs. Is spotted. This Marine on the watchtower sees those 2 medevacs.
Yeah. SpeCial playing a pretty good game here. Very important that the Marine is on the Xel'Naga. This could have been a big surprise. And now
he's going to try and catch it.
Oh my god, is it going to work?
Oh! One of the medevacs gets picked off. That's huge. 2 tanks on their own are no good. A little bit of auto turret harassment, but a well-placed missile turret here. There's not enough dead space for the Raven to get past it.
Almost for sure, TY thought SpeCial would have his Marines and tanks at that 3rd base, you know, more common location for you to try and boost into, or even the main, to be honest. But that natural sometimes is forgotten about. But this Xel'Naga was so important in that engagement. Now SpeCial looks really good up in workers and up in army.
And it's not, you know, it looks good for SpeCial right now, but this is TvT, guys. A single drop can change the course of the game, or one good engagement can change the course of the game. Really could be as simple as that. At the moment, SpeCial is in charge, and he's moving across here with a good army supply. Upgrades about to marry up as well. Looks like he's going to have +1 attack at least.
That's a very small group of units, but they are going to go, I think, unnoticed. The Marine from SpeCial was not in quite the right position, whereas TY does know this army is en route and will have his units in position. So maybe a couple free SCVs. Yeah, get up and get out of there.
Yeah, and going into the main, just the production of SpeCial will have to deal with this. He's got a little bit of a long walk from the 3rd. Meanwhile, multitasking here is SpeCial. He's going for the attack. The tanks sieging out of range of each other. Oh, got a bit of a pause here.
That was a bit of a late pullback on those Marines.
Might be having some lag issues, or maybe some mechanical issues here.
Yeah. It's about to get really heated in TvT area. Like, you're going to need to fix something, fix it right here, right now.
Maybe he had to pause. His hair's not perfect. Looks pretty good to me.
Well, I mean, I think it's always perfect. I think he's fine. That must have been it.
Must have been it, yeah. In all seriousness, it looks like it probably a headset or a sound issue.
Yeah, that's true.
And you definitely don't want anything to go wrong. You want everything as perfect as possible when you're on a map like this, in a match like this, where the winner of the series will be in the round of 8.
Yeah, of course, the loser still has another shot.
Yep,
but
it's not the end for either of these two guys.
If you up against stats, which...
Yeah, it's not a pushover.
No,
It would actually, like, even though SpeCial has beaten Stats already once this tournament in a 2-1, they were pretty close games, and I'm sure he doesn't want to ride the knife's edge once more. He wants to have that free ticket after, well, it's not a free ticket, it's a BTY, but he wants to just not have to worry about it for a few days.
Yeah, and I'm sure Stats is looking for revenge, so he's like hoping SpeCial gets like knocked down. He's like, I'm gonna get him this time.
Well, I can guarantee you that Stats has been sharpening his PVT because he knows that he'll likely have to deal with TY or SpeCial at some point.
Likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two people that are left.
Exactly.
They're the same race. Well, it looks like things are trying to get fixed, but... Oh, there's
Resumed. There it is. And let's switch back into the game. Sounds like an engagement's gone down. Tanks killed some Marines.
There was definitely that setup was important, but it looked like they were on top of each other's armies, so there we go. Nothing really too important happened since TY was scanning, knew where SpeCial's army was going to go. Just a more light Marine harassment. Anything at all?
Just a few Marines here with Stim. They are starting to do a little bit of SCV damage now as it's, and the gas guys are SCVs. SpeCial will have to deal with it, but of course, TY can lift and pull away. Or just lose everything. Could lose everything as well.
Yeah.
SpeCial's army supply is quite a bit higher than TY's right now.
Yeah, and it has, it did have an upgrade lead. Sorry, the +1 armor just finished, but he'll be ahead on that 2-2-1. Second factory already going down. A couple Liberators for TY here, maybe worried or seeing an opportunity to break the siege line that SpeCial now has. I mean, SpeCial from the get-go has had this map control and has been using it really, really well, but TY, not a stranger to the late game of any matchup, would not mind as long as he survived to the late game.
Yeah, to me, TY is Mr. Liberator himself. Mr. Liberator, if you please. He's so good with that unit. It's just a staple of his late game in every single matchup. The air control can be nice in TvT, but when you have overwhelming Marine count, it can obviously go badly for you as well. As it stands, SpeCial does have the Marine count advantage. TY pulling back at that third. It's very, very dangerous to commit here.
I'm pretty sure TY saw that army, but he just doesn't have enough of his own being down 30 army supply to like correctly cover these two sides. SpeCial is looking for that one slip up that could get him the victory, but just for now, going to take out the sensor tower.
Getting rid of that sensor tower, very, very important. TY going for a big drop here. 4 medevacs loaded up.
But SpeCial, I think it was actually just scanned, so never mind. Maybe, no, he's going to commit to it.
He's going for a big drop into the main.
There's nothing there.
Oh my god, hola, senor TY, ¿cómo estás? Going straight for the production. And a little bit of a scuffle in the middle again. SpeCial with the advantage in the units. And he has siege range on the armory as well.
Oh, this was a big mess. TY had so many more Marines that would have won that fight much faster. Could have maybe at least tried doing some damage to this on the map, but now is just having to deal with this. Looks like SpeCial is going to respect the Liberators and just get out of there while he can.
Stimming in to pick up that Liberator. He would have lost all of his units, or at least most of them, to the siege line of TY. SpeCial coming in for a big sandwich here on the third base.
Oh, this looks so good for SpeCial. He's actually dominating in the supply right now. That third base is going to be a goner, and so is TY.
GG! SpeCial! Woo! Starting things off strong in this TvT against TY. Beautiful!
That was a beautiful game, actually, from the get-go. SpeCial, I was talking about his control, and then he correctly sized up that engagement on the natural. I think either way would have been great, but starting things off really, really well, and then just keeping a lead in TvT, which we all know is very difficult to do, but he had eyes on everything TY was doing.
People often meme in TvT that, it's so coin flippy, it's doom droppy, like a doom drop ends the game, SpeCial looked like he never sweated a single time against those doom drops of TY. All of those attempts were beaten back by map control, scouting, scans, just knowing TY's play style and just having star sense and map awareness. That's what won the game there for SpeCial, not to mention his macro on point, army control on point, decision making on point, well-deserved game 1.
Sometimes I feel like we hype up SpeCial, but maybe not as much as the other top foreigners here, Neve and Serral. But even if you hype him up, it's like I don't know. People seem to underestimate that his macro is actually like pretty much on par with some of these top Koreans.
He looks like a Korean Terran when he plays. He's been in Korea long enough. Most of the Korean Terrans are friends, if not comrades in arms, trying to hold the top of the ladder there in Korea.
Yeah. Well, talk a little about TY. I mean, SpeCial did an amazing job, but TY a little bit funky, to be honest. Like the Zelnaga not being taken with that drop, and then he sees that he's scouted, still continues forward with it. It's always a bit of a questionable thing to do.
It was a bit YOLO to boost your medevacs towards a watchtower without knowing whether or not there's something there. It's getting picked off by SpeCial. Kind of put the right foot forward, but we didn't really feel like things were going to go solidly for SpeCial there until he took that huge army supply advantage and got TY pulled a little bit too thin, spread him too thin, going into the main, attacking the third at the same time. It's just, overwhelming in the end there.
Yeah, TY was going to have difficulty, to be honest, with the natural and third alone, minus the main base. Maybe he had a bunch of static defense up there, but I would still say that SpeCial has a decent opportunity to crack that third. But doing the Doom drop, pulling more units out of position, and then going on the third base was the absolute correct move.
Yeah, and like you said, TY, obviously an incredible player, but there were some mistakes in this game. Like another I remember is like the Raven died to the turret as well, like in the main. It's not something you'll often see from a guy whose multitask is this good.
Yeah, the Raven, and then the first 2 medevacs, and then the 4 medevacs in the middle of the map that were only partially unloaded. I mean, he had a lot of things to worry about, so I'm not saying that he's playing the worst game of his life here, but I am saying that that's not what the on-point Korean Terran stereotype does, right? Yeah. Like, it's usually instant reaction and back there.
Well, it's first game of the day. You can check it off and see if we can do it again for game number 2 and perhaps tie up the series. Pretty excited to see how it goes down. I know TvT is your jam, Zombie Grub.
Yeah, even more than like blueberry jam or strawberry jam. TvT jam is the best.
Wonder how it tastes. Let's spread some on toast and find out. The top left here from Splice Esports, it is TY.
Into the bottom right as the Red Terran up 1. He is special.
Very special. Damn, I wish I looked that convincing in TvT at any point. I would actually settle for a quarter of that talent. Like, I'd be happy to just ride the rest of my life in StarCraft 2 being a quarter as good as SpeCial. That'd be nice.
Well, TY, usually not so bad himself, just looked, well, he was put on the defensive from the get-go, which I was going to say looks more like my TvTs, where I'm just like huddled in, like, please don't Doom drop me, please do not do that. And then maybe I got a shot. Yeah, exactly. But TY, I mean, we do kind of push him in a corner of like late game, right? The macro-oriented, but it's also, that special tactics that I would love to see come out from him. He can be aggressive in the early game, but it looks like no one really wanted risking proxies as good as they can be in this matchup. Yeah,
proxies can be pretty interesting. Obviously, Proxy Reaper used to be very, very, very common in TvT series. Not always in games, but in series you'd see it once. Innovation was a big guilty party of that, doing it a lot in his series. Kumiho, etc. You see the 2 SCVs, they're both SCVs scouting each other just to make sure. Once again, TY went for gas after barracks. SpeCial went for gas first. So, small differences in the build there, but again, these are both fast expand builds. Same builds as last game.
Yeah, that is correct. Of course, SpeCial, nothing wrong happened with his choices. TY maybe a little bit different, but still, if he had maybe had that second tank out a little bit faster, or perhaps killed the Raven when it dived in there, like it got pretty close to dying. It's a very different story to be told, but both very comfortable with the macro game. Looks like TY had to place his command center off of position.
Yeah, it's it's gonna affect him for a couple seconds as he floats on over there before he turns it into an orbital. It's must have been some annoying SCV harassment there from SpeCial. Once again, factory with reactor, so it just screams to me another Hellion opener here from SpeCial. TY getting his second gas at the same time as SpeCial as well.
Yeah.
It just looks like Hellion opener for both players.
Got a little bit of the Reaper scuffle. Might be more interesting than last time, but without a follow-up, usually doesn't snowball too badly.
Well, looks like the Reaper War is going to nearly be won here by TY. Doesn't quite get the SCV kill. There it is. And he's going to delay the low ground CC as well. Nice damage.
This is some nice damage. Sure, he's going to send an SCV immediately. He's just waiting for his Reaper to gain health back.
Damn, a third SCV kill? Nearly, not quite.
Almost. But that is a long delay on the command center. That wasn't instantly pulled back, so probably making up for his command center being off of location.
Yeah, and then some.
Yeah.
going to drop that on location, start turning it into orbital before Specials is done. Nice little, nice Reaper there for TY. Special switching things over again, getting the tech lab for that starport, and Hellions being produced immediately. Same deal for TY back at home.
That might have been even a little bit of panic from Special, who did have to make one Hellion before swapping off. Looks like TY is going to be even faster in swapping off his factory. I talked about the tank being a little bit faster. Maybe he thought the same thing. Actually, it's going to be a Cyclone, which is kind of the safest early game unit you can get as a TvT.
Yeah, it is the king of the early game. It's the get out, don't do any damage to me early game unit.
Yeah, but he's also getting a medevac. So the Cyclone has like barely become this weird. I remember it started like Bunny, like Dust Bunny or something, where it was included in the 2-1-1 of TVZ. Oh, wait a second. Special coming back should be able to take care of this, no problem.
Yeah, he has a unit advantage here. Will clean up these units from TY. One of the Reapers sneaks into the main and will be a little bit annoying for Special to clean up.
Yeah.
There was that hurt SCV from earlier. Oh, another one nearly getting picked off, not quite.
Great scout from the Reaper, finally getting it picked off. Back to the Cyclone point, it's come back in the TvT as well, where you can pick that up, and it's like a bigger buffer Marine, like very high DPS. Looks like it's just going to be the Marines, though, and keeping the Cyclone back.
I think the Cyclone choice is because TY knows that Special is going to go for this Hellion opener, or at least has a pretty good idea. I mean, he obviously knows now because he's seen them all. He's bunkering up and just going to rely on the Cyclones to hold while his entire Marine force goes for harassment here.
Yeah.
Special does have a Raven with one auto turret on it.
I really like the bunker. I mean, that's going to make sure that the Hellions can never do what they did last time. 2 Cyclones is very, very safe as well, and TY is looking for Special, I think, to be greedy with that contain again, but Special is actually back at home waiting for something like this.
Once again, getting read like a book here. TY getting deflected, and Special, takes 0 damage.
I was going to compliment TY so much for this, but Special just changing things up, didn't actually have his units just over the other side of the map waiting. Yeah,
I was actually looking in the minimap to see where Special's units are because I was almost certain they were going to be out of position, but once again, the Zelnaga Watchtower coming in strong for him. The Reaper parked right on it.
Wow, that's really nice. So he's going to turn around. He doesn't have a lot of production, but he does have a Viking and a Raven in position.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh is correct.
Cyclones finish it off. Ouch. It's a pretty nice pick-off there. Not game-ending, but still a nice beginning of the game here for Special.
Ooh, so I did want to bring this up last time when I saw how many Hellions Special was getting, but mech or not mech, I mean, I think both players can, and Special has definitely had his days where he did nothing but mech. It's not been scouted with the denial of the medevac. That would have been fantastic if the medevac just got a little bit closer. But kind of hiding his factory play here. TY's in for a surprise, perhaps.
Making it happen. We'll see. TY obviously going for bio and tank here. Hellion count's going to start to shoot up. Tank's getting produced. There's that armory.
Nice, nice. I love it. I do. I mean, Special is reading TY so well, and then to get a little bit of his own change-up, a little bit of surprise here. He scans TY's base. Perhaps TY will return the favor and scan Special's base, but he also might just feel so comfortable, or might even just miss it. Like, this factory is a very odd location.
Yeah, it is a little odd. Barrack's been lifted here just to go for a little bit of a look-see, or at least, maybe be like in a flying scout there to see if, a drop head storm or something like that.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of a drive for that Barracks to get over to TY's main.
TY... I don't know when he's going to be able to scout that it's mech. So you see how many Hellions they have, and sometimes it's kind of like a question mark. Should I scan? Should I look? Should I even think about it? But Special has been defending with it for the most part, finally getting aggressive now knowing the medevac has been taken care of. And he might even be able to set up another soft contain as he's bringing a lot of Vikings and perhaps eventually this tanks. Yeah, there they are.
Special has complete and utter air control, and that's why we're seeing Liberators being produced right now. That's going to make him not afraid at all of these... these tanks of TY. TY giving up that third base. Special pressing the issue here. Some SCVs lining up a little bit. There they are. Hellbats.
Wow. TY actually going back, I think, deep into what was Heart of the Swarm, but building a wall against a mass Hellbat push off of 2 bases.
Canceling it.
Was a good idea, but the Hellbats aren't pushing in so aggressively, so it just cancels. They're going to be killed by the tanks anyways. But Special, he's on 2 bases, right? There's a dedicated attack. It's a surprise, but it's also mech. Very early on attacking you, which is not what it's known for. But if Special keeps this contained, is now making Liberators, eventually he could get a 3rd CC. That's not really a problem.
Normally mech equals slow and steady, but Special is actually turning up the heat here, really pressuring TY and bullying him back into his natural. The Liberators are here now as well. He's desperately trying to get these turrets up, but the siege tanks are denying him.
This is a very tricky spot for TY. I mean, what do? You can try and slowly build up your Viking count. You can go for
supply block as well.
Doom drop, or you can be supply blocked. It's not great.
Ouch.
TY does have upgrades, 1-1 as well as everything for his bio, but he only just recently started his Marauder production, thinking that was Marine Tank versus Marine Tank for a long time.
Marine's getting dropped to the outside here. TY trying to pick off those Liberators, and he will succeed.
Ooh. That was a nice pickoff right there.
Just 2 more on the way, though.
A little out of position for SpeCial. Yeah, they're already on the way, already halfway across the map.
Oh, could pick up a tank. Nice little pickoff here for TY, but he has to do better than that. More of the Hellbats coming in. The Cyclone's actually doing some damage as well. The natural CC is getting very, very low here.
Oh, he's going to have to...
Lift or repair or something, but it's Vikings. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. He's pulling the boys here to try and hold on. TY is taking so much damage. Let me grab us. This it.
He has no army. He's like half the army.